you all for having us, and Godspeed. We are with you. Sí se puede, 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 sí se puede.
Hey, if anybody has a bag here today and you left it over there, please go pick it up so the police don't take it and blow it up, all right? So, security issue, just take care of your bags. Thanks.
Thank you. I always trust my pilots. Listen to them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No.
I'm so honored today to share with you one of the great leaders in our country. That is putting you all in poverty wages. That is saying that you don't deserve health care. Well, I say no more. We all say no more. Don't you ever let anybody make you feel like you don't deserve this. When they make record profits, $50 billion in the last 5 years, and they can't help you provide for your family, then something is wrong. So you push back against corporate greed every single foot that you put in front, and you march, and you push, you strike, you do everything that's possible because you deserve to take care of your children. You deserve a better quality of life, and we cannot allow them to gaslight us. To gaslight us to believe that profits have to come before people. You can have both. You can have both. You can make money fairly and still provide for your workers that help you make record profits. I want you to feel the love. Feel the love that this is the most incredible class of United States Congress members that are with you. And it is beyond just the four of us. It is all of you. It is members from across this country that believe that one job should be enough. Thank you. Thank you for putting your children first, putting your future first. Because when you do that, the next person that comes along, they might not remember the struggle that you are putting in now, that you help them get a better quality of life. That you help them. So I want to thank you so much. Thank you for giving all of us something to smile about, because it is so hard to push up against this hate agenda. You know it is, because it ain't even just about ethnicity. It's about hating workers. It's about hating those that are on the front lines, putting the sweat into it every single day. Hating on our teachers. Hating on those that are really trying to provide a better future in our country. And so we say no more. We're giving you a policy agenda. We're telling you what we need. We need Fight for 15. We need one fair wage. We need Medicare for all. So thank you. Thank you so much for standing strong and for being part of the squad. Thank you so much. Amazing, right? So one of the powerful things is that we're not alone today. We're not alone tomorrow. We're not alone at all in this fight. And someone we count on tremendously, who eats the food, the crew meals,
very much.
But flies on safely all over this country are the pilots and the American Airlines Pilot Association.
I'm a fellow Michigander. I'm so excited. Oh, thank
Captain to be.
Thank you so much.
The captain speaking.
Thank you so much for your work, honestly.
Airline
Thank you for
Pilots
being a
Association
representative.
has been here today to give a
I have
message
someone
to you.
who didn't
That
make
you
it.
have the support.
Oh, he did, yes. We gotta represent Palestine in here.
You're not gonna take it.
Do you mind taking a picture for us? Yes.
And I'm here to tell you that union solidarity knows no boundaries. We are journeying in our work, the dignity of work, and that's what we're here to support you to do today. Is this America when we're fighting in the poverty wages, working conditions that are disgraceful? I mean, we will not let this stand and be at your side. Your job should be.
Come on, local 400. Get tight. I only got to this guy. Smile. Come on, get in there. There we go. There we go. I love it. All right. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I just really want to be with the workers. This way. All right, that's thank you so much. All right, let's do it. Yeah. I just want to say thank you so much for all your work. Thank you so much. I am so proud of you. Thank you so much.
We didn't condemn the firebombing attack.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
What can you do?
This is our local 400 president, Mark Becker.
Thank you very much.
Solidarity.
This is it.
Hi, sorry.
Stay on the inside, on the inside.
Real pay. Now. Real pay. Now. Real pay. Real pay. Now. Real pay. Now. Real pay.
Yeah, just take another to the bottom of the
Out of the road.
So I'm Delegate Hala Ayala. This is
Lisa, where you going?
So I'm Delegate Hala Ayala. This is I think the general public would be appalled to know about some of the conditions that some of our airport workers are working under. And I think people recognize that when you're working hard, you deserve a decent job with benefits and that the dignity of work. And I think people would really care about what's going on here with some of our airport food workers. Absolutely. I did not. This is Delegate Carol Boyd.
Well, could you add anything?
First door.
The workers that make food for them.
There's a lot we can do in the House of Delegates. We can start by raising the minimum wage in Virginia. We can give localities an opportunity to set a living wage. We can encourage participation in unions, which are so critical to our social and economic fabric of our communities. And so I think that there's so much that we can do at the state level to support workers and working families. I think the general public would be appalled to know about the conditions that some of our airport workers are working under. And I think people recognize that when you're working hard, you deserve a decent job with benefits and that the dignity of work. And I think people would really care about what's going on here with some of our airport food workers. Absolutely. I did not. This is Delegate Carol Boyd.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something that's long overdue. People have been making poverty wages for too long, and now our voices is resonating with people because they understand that we need to increase the minimum wage, we need worker protection, and we need to bring dignity back to a lot of these fields because our society rests on the backs of people who work every single day in a lot of these jobs and positions, and we need to respect them, respect our community, their families, and pay them a livable wage because people should be able to survive off of one job. So we can't just protect the 1%, we need to protect everyone, and we can do that by passing good legislation that increases minimum wage, have worker protection, worker compensation, and other really good worker and family legislation that helps all of us.
And they can points out American Airlines acquisition.
Yeah.
Does this go beyond them? Is it a bigger problem?
Yes, this is a global problem. This is much bigger than just this agency, just this entity, because here in the Virginia General Assembly, we're fighting to increase the minimum wage for everyone. And so until we can get that done, we want and we call on a lot of private businesses to go by what a lot of other companies have done by increasing their wages. You have Walmart, you have Amazon, you have a lot of great examples, and small businesses who are paying people what they're worth and livable wages. So it can be done. Small businesses win, community wins, the Commonwealth wins when we pay people what they're worth in a livable wage.
No. I'm just as passionate. Me and Jennifer, we fight because we know what it's like to bring our families up in a community. And like she said, these workers provide services to us, for us, every day. And we must do better by providing.
So we should raise this not Arnold, but I figured you might want to put that on there first. So I didn't do that. All right, cool. Just hold on real quick. But the people right here, photons, they're gonna get down. And you know. Oh yeah.
So this is something that's long overdue. People have been making poverty wages for too long, and now our voices is resonating with people because they understand that we need to increase the minimum wage, we need worker protection, and we need to bring dignity back to a lot of these fields because our society rests on the backs of people who work every single day in a lot of these jobs and positions, and we need to respect them, respect our community, their families, and pay them a livable wage because people should be able to survive off of one job. So we can't just protect the 1%, we need to protect everyone. And we can do that by passing good legislation that increases the minimum wage, have worker protection, worker compensation, and other really good worker and family legislation that helps all of us.
And they can points out American Airlines opposition.
Yes.
Does this go beyond them? Is it a bigger problem?
Yes, this is a global problem. This is much bigger than just this agency, just this entity. Because here in the Virginia General Assembly, we're fighting to increase the minimum wage for everyone. And so until we can get that done, we want and we call on a lot of private businesses to go by what a lot of other companies have done by increasing their wages. You have Walmart, you have Amazon, you have a lot of great examples and small businesses who are paying people what they're worth and livable wages. So it can be done. Small businesses win, community wins, the Commonwealth wins when we pay people what they're worth and a livable wage.
No. I'm just as passionate. Me and Jennifer, we fight because we know what it's like to bring our families up in a community. And like she said, these workers provide services to us, for us every day. And we must do better by providing for our families. You know, it is basic human dignity and respect for the jobs that they do. It is time that they provide them a livable wage and a supportive wage so that they can support their families. So with that, we would encourage not only American Airlines, but every airlines to give them all a raise.
Should be enough. 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 Should be enough.
Well, there's a lot we can do in the House of Delegates. We can start by raising the minimum wage in Virginia. We can give localities an opportunity. Well, there's a lot we can do in the House of Delegates. We can start by raising the minimum wage.
Now.
Real pay. Now. Real.
Striker replacement.
Well, there's a lot we can do in the House of
Well, they're our fellow airport co-workers, and we support we support them having only one job and being able to support their family.
What do we want?
Real pay.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Real pay.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Real pay.
When do we want it? What do we want?
Real pay.
When do we want it?
Now!
When do we want it?
Real pay!
What do we want?
Real pay.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want? Real pay. When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want? Real pay. When do we want
here today? We're here today in Washington, D.C., because this is a crisis. This is a crisis of poverty wages and absolutely unaffordable health care. And it's absolutely unacceptable that an industry like the airline, making billions of dollars in profits, would turn their backs on this group of workers. Is that right? No! That ain't right. Say it after me. That ain't right.
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 And this group of workers are the ones who are making it possible for these billionaires and for all of the passengers flying in and out of this airport to get off the ground. Over the past month, we've walked the walk and we've held strike authorization votes among 15,000 catering workers. And you know what? They voted overwhelmingly to strike when released. And we're all walking the walk, because I can guarantee you that thousands of Unite Here members all over this country are ready to do whatever it takes to be heard. We will not give up until we win changes that make a real difference in our members' lives. We are the union of one day longer. We know how to take it one day longer. We will fight as long as it takes until we win justice for all airline catering workers. And when our struggle seems hard, we have to turn to our faith to continue on. My Bible tells me that our God will never leave us, nor will he forsake us. So, before we continue, we're going to turn this over to Reverend Graylin Hagler for a few words of prayer.
Good afternoon. As we gather here in this spirit of prayer, we recognize that prayer is not a passive exercise, but it is a physical exercise, it is a mental exercise, it is a spiritual exercise. It is an exercise that demands that people have some congruency in what they do and how they do it. And we know that someone like American Airlines can do much better than what they're doing. They can instruct their vendors in a whole new way to what it is to protect justice and righteousness and what it is to protect workers. I've been invited to pray, so I'm not going to be too long in my commentary, but I want to recognize all of these clergy that are with us, and they stand from many different traditions. And when I pray, I'm going to pray in such a way that it's going to be universal. Amen. And what I mean is that I'm not calling on any particular God, because you know who your God is. I'm not calling on any particular system of spirituality, because you know what that is and how that feels. What I'm calling on is within us that common thread that binds us together as clergy, as workers, as union, as political leaders, to stand up and be and do the people that call for righteousness. Let us join in a moment of spiritual prayer. For all that is holy and good and righteous and just, we call on you today to put a special courage in our hearts and to put a special strength in our being, so that we might truly stand up and not sit down, and truly speak up until we are heard, to demand from those that we work for that one job should be enough, and folks should not have to work and scrape and bow to try to put a roof over their heads or food on their family's table. That those who make all the money,
They have a sacred responsibility to share equally with those who provide and make a way for them to make money. We will not accept anything less. We aim to be heard. We aim to be seen. We aim to be respected. We aim to be able to care for our families, our communities, and our neighborhood. So anoint us now. Bless us now. Lift us up now. Allow us to go forth in strong spirit and strong voice until, as one of the prophets says, let justice roll down like water and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. These are our prayers, lifted to the highest heaven and meant to pierce the most stone-hearted of hearts. Amen. Amen.
Thank you very much for that wholesome prayer, Reverend. We're very happy today to have a number of allies with us, and some of them will be speaking shortly. But I want to make sure that we recognize some who have walked that picket line out here earlier today and have spoken to our members and spoken with our members. Representative Anthony Brown from Maryland. Give him a hand. Representative Stephen Hartsford from Nevada. Representative Barbara Lee from California. Representative Rashida Tlaib from Minnesota. Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman from New Jersey. And we also want to thank many of our local officials from Virginia, D.C., and the Maryland area who came out and have spoken with us on our behalf. So before we go any further, I want you all to hear from one of our fearless leader. She come out of our rank and file, meaning she started working on the job in these flying food jobs. And she has been out training with our local chapter here, and she has developed into a wonderful, awesome leader. And she will be speaking on behalf of our leaders who work very hard in these kitchens. None other than our Tanae Stover from right here in D.C.
All right. Hello, brothers and sisters. My name is Tanae Stover. I've been making food for American Airlines flights for 3 years in this airport. I voted to strike when released because D.C. is one of American Airlines' most profitable hubs in the country, but I can't afford to pay rent. 2 years ago, I got evicted from my home because I wasn't making enough money. I couldn't afford to pay my rent, transportation, and food. I was forced to move in with a family member, even though I want to be independent. Still, to this day, I do not make enough and cannot live on my own. It's not easy to do my job. We're on our feet 8 hours a day making meals for American Airlines flights. We deserve $15 an hour. And affordable health care. One job should be enough for all workers in the airline catering industry to be able to survive. For months, we've been bargaining for the wages and health care that we deserve, but we're not getting anywhere. My coworkers and I can't wait forever for that change. That's why this week, we are officially requesting release to strike from the National Mediation Board. I do not want to strike, but I will when it's legal, if that's what it takes. My coworkers are facing homelessness while American Airlines makes billions in profits. It makes me so angry, but won't stop fighting until we win $15 and health care here in D.C. and for all airline catering workers across the country.
American Airlines, one job should be enough. 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 One job should be enough.
One job should be enough. One job should be enough. One job should be enough. One job should be enough. One job should be enough.
Thank you, Tanae. American Airlines, you think they can hear us? I don't think they can hear us. Let's make sure. American Airlines, can you hear us?
No!
If they can't hear us with how loud we just spoke, Lee, joining us right now today to tell American Airlines one job should be enough is United States Senator Bernie Sanders.
Let me congratulate all of you for the courage you are showing in standing up for yourselves, your families, and workers all across this country. Thank you. The American people are sick and tired of the kind of corporate greed we are seeing from one end of this country to the other. It is not acceptable that 2/3 of the workers here in the gourmet industry, food preparing industry, are making less than $15 an hour. It is not acceptable that only 1/3 of the workers here are getting company health insurance. So at a time when corporate profits are at a record-breaking level, our demand is simple. We say to Sky Chefs, we say to Gate Gourmet, we say to American Airlines, pay your workers a living wage. And provide decent and affordable health care for your workers. The truth of the matter is that if you live in the Washington, D.C. area, and you know this as well as I do, you can't make it on 10, 12, 13 bucks an hour. You can't pay your rent. You can't pay your health care. You can't buy the food that you need. So what we are saying today from coast to coast is that workers deserve a living wage. We are sick and tired. We are sick and tired of people having to work 2 or 3 jobs just to pay the bills. We are sick and tired, by the way, of being the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee health care to all people as a human right. So to those corporations where the CEOs make fancy compensation packages, those corporations that are making record-breaking profits, the American people demand that you treat your employees with justice and with dignity. Brothers and sisters, what I see all across this country, literally from coast to coast, is working people standing up, fighting back, and saying loudly and clearly, enough is enough. This is the wealthiest country in the history of the world. Our working people deserve decent wages and decent benefits, and we are going to stand up to corporate America, and we're going to get those decent wages and decent benefits. So let me congratulate Unite here. You know and I know that the only way we gain decent wages and benefits is when we grow the trade union movement in America. So in this country, where the top 3 people own more wealth than the bottom half of America, where half of our people, including many of you who are here today, are living paycheck to paycheck, the American worker deserves better and will get better because we are prepared to stand up and take on corporate greed. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Senator Sanders. The RWDSU and Teamsters also represent Gate Gourmet airline catering workers with Unite Here, and they've been our partners in this campaign for quite a long time. Now we're going to hear from our brother Anthony Smith, who is the recording secretary of Teamsters Local 639.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. I feel totally inadequate up here following the previous speakers. I've been a Teamster for 41 years. I've represented the Teamsters at Gate Gourmet for 16 years. I've been in every negotiation since that time. This company has never given these workers what they deserve. You've heard before, the wages are inferior. They can't afford their health care. They can't keep themselves well to come to work. When they're sick, they can't stay home because they don't make enough money. If they come to work, they're disciplined and sent home. So how do you work that out? More sick days. More sick days.
More sick days.
We're in desperate need of health care, as we are in this country, not just at Gate Gourmet and Sky Chefs, for health care that we can afford, wages that we can live on. The Economic Policy Institute says that in the Washington, D.C. area, a single parent and child needs $37 an hour to survive in a living full way. We're nowhere near that. We have Gate Gourmet workers, I'm sure it's the same at Sky Chefs across this country, who are still making $8 an hour. Dulles Airport, Metropolitan Washington Airports Authority, at the pushing of the unions, instituted a minimum wage. That we've gotten sizable boost there. They're still nowhere near where they need to be. We have 25-year employees making $12 an hour. 25 years making $12 an hour. This campaign, and I think she just laid it out previously, but this started 3 years ago. The Teamsters, Unite Here, the RWDSU, who is affiliated with the UFCW, which I saw here tonight, all gathered together to say that enough is enough, that this is the time. The airlines have made $50 billion in profits in the last 5 years. It is the airlines that must put up the money. The catering companies don't have what we need. The airlines have squeezed them until there's nothing left. And it's up to us all, and all beyond Unite Here, beyond the Teamsters, RWDSU, the other unions that are here, and thank you all for being here, and the social justice organizations that are here. But we got to keep this struggle going, and we must win for these people because they so dearly need it. And a couple of, I thought I was going to conclude there, but let me add a couple of things. It's so bad. We have homeless people working out on Dulles Airport. From time to time, management has found people living inside the unit. Of course, they must put them out. I think another side to this, the low wages and the condition that these people are in, there's a constant churn of employees. There's about 650 employees at Gate Gourmet on Dulles now. They've hired that many people this year. It's constant. So there is a concern for security for the turnover. Another issue is that people are working all the overtime they can get. I've got people that are working by choice, working 80 to 90 hours a week. So imagine you're the passenger sitting on that plane and you see that food truck rolling up and you don't know if that guy just worked his 80th hour or not. It's not safe, and it's not safe because they can't survive working less. So we have to do more.
One job. 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 Solidarity.
Thank you very much, Anthony. So we feed the pilots, we feed the flight attendants, and today we are proud to have them standing right here along with us. I am happy to introduce Captain Joe DePete, who represents 62,000 pilots in the largest pilots union in the world.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you. We are very impressed at the unity we say today. Give yourself a round of applause. This is the largest one I've ever been to. Now, I am here for this reason, because the ALPA pilots support you, all right? My name is Captain Joe DePete. I'm the president of the Airline Pilots Association, representing over 62,000 pilots at 35 airlines in the United States and Canada. And any problem with any workers in America is our problem too, and we stand by you. Union solidarity knows no boundaries. It doesn't matter here, overseas, or anywhere. Workers are united in what they do in their work. When you meet somebody for the first time, what do they ask you? They don't ask you what you did on vacation. They ask you what you do. They ask you what you do because what you do is a source of pride and self-esteem. It's your place in society. And what's happening to you right now is disgraceful. It's disgraceful. Shouldn't happen in this country. Not for asking for $15 an hour, a way to feed your family, health care, what every worker wants. Now, I'm going to say something. Unions are the social glue that connect communities and are built on durable shared values of defending and furthering the dignity of work. And ALPA supports our aviation colleagues who work to collectively advance their profession through a legal work action. We are here to support you. We're not behind you. We're beside you. Unionism is a shared commitment to the collective action that is not only necessitated by the challenges we face, but hold the key to achieve achievements far greater than we would get on our own. This is about brotherhood and sisterhood and sticking together when the time gets tough. For decades, we've been spreading this word around the globe, and I'm so happy to see all you here today. So we stand behind you. And each day, you all know, we have the safest airline system in the world here in the United States, and it takes thousands of employees to make that happen. You are an integral part of the team. These airplanes don't move without food and water on them. I can tell you one thing. From the tip of the airplane with the pilots to the back of the airplane with the flight attendants, where's Sarah Nelson? Where's she? Oh, man. I am so glad I am not following her again, because she is going to shake you up. All right? We stand together with you. We stand for unionism, safety, and dignity of work. So we've seen time and time again where the wealthy, I mean, they're making plenty of money. You can't afford $15 an hour, really, in a country like this? Come on, really? But I'm here to tell you, finish up, and say that ALP is here. We're here for the duration. We'll be by your side. And God knows, one job. What? One job. One job. Listen up, America. Your captain speaking. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Captain DePete. We're excited that the whole labor movement is joining us today in telling American Airlines that one job should be enough. So I now want to turn it over to AFL-CIO Secretary-Treasurer Liz Schuler.
One job.
Should be enough.
One job.
Should be enough.
That's right. I am so proud to be here today. It is an honor to bring the solidarity of 12.5 million working men and women of the AFL-CIO standing right here on this stage and all throughout this hall. Let's give it up for the labor movement. And our community partners and our allies. And I want to thank Dee Taylor, who I know is in the room here, who sits on the AFL-CIO Executive Council. And I want to thank Marlene, because she has been tireless on this campaign. And I saw her and I saw Tanae and others about a month ago when I came out for the authorization vote. And I'm telling you, the drumbeat of support and solidarity that we're seeing is culminating today. Do you feel the solidarity? That's right. And when Marriott strikers were on the line and they started using one job should be enough, I thought, this captures it. This captures it for the entire economy. Because what we're seeing is corporate greed run amok, right? Every single sector of the economy. You're not alone. Teachers are walking out from West Virginia and Arizona. Grocery workers up in New England at Stop and Shop walk the line for respect and dignity and better wages. So workers are rising up in this country, and we're seeing it over and over again, because paychecks are not going far enough. Paychecks are not going far enough. He's laughing because it is abominable. It is the health care, the cost of health care. You heard it. It's unaffordable. And there's a lack of dignity and respect that these corporations are showing for the essential workers that make their company profitable. Right? So I'm here to bring solidarity of the labor movement, the 12.5 million working men and women who are standing side by side with you. And I literally just flew in from Fort Lauderdale and got off the plane and came here because I had to be here after after that strike authorization vote. I knew that now is the time. Now is the time that we stand up for $15 an hour. That's right, and I know what the power of solidarity looks like as I look out across this crowd. This is the power of the labor movement, standing alongside our partners and our allies. And what happens when we stand together? We win! We win! And we are not going to sit back and let these companies rake in the profits and not let workers make a decent living. They cannot be standing by and struggling while these companies are making record profits. Shame! Shame! It's unfair, it's wrong, and we're going to fight back for as long as it takes. Together, we will win! We will win! We will win! Thank you!
We will win! We will win! We will win! We will win! We will win!
Thank you so much for that reminder, Sister Liz, because the power is in this room right now. And when we fight, when we fight, when we fight, when we fight, American Airlines has a big hub in New York. And in our fight to demand the airlines end poverty wages and end unaffordable health care, one of our greatest allies in New York City is here next to speak with us. Mayor Bill de Blasio. Come on up. When we fight, we win. 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 Thank you. Way to go.
I think you're here to fight. I get that feeling. Everybody, I want to tell you that anyone who takes on this union is in for the fight of their lives. And I want to start by thanking D. Taylor. Where's D? Where's D? Is D? D? There he is, being all shy. Brothers and sisters, D. Taylor, a fighter for working people everywhere, right there. Thank you, D. He is very tough on employers, but he loves working people. That's a good combination. This is the place to be right now, because this is the front line of the struggle for working people right here. Right here. The airlines think they can do whatever they want. And you're here to tell them that we're not going to allow that anymore. Let's talk about American Airlines, should we? Let's talk about American Airlines. I think American Airlines is doing pretty well right now, don't you? I think they're making a pretty healthy profit, don't you? I hear they made $15 billion in profit the last 5 years. And are they sharing that with working people? Or are they just keeping that for them greedy selves? Here's what's happening to the people who do the work. By the way, who makes that profit for American Airlines? Working people, right? Who makes it? That's right. But they're not sharing. And here's the truth that we know. 2/3 of you make less than $15 an hour. And that's not right. That's not right with this company that makes $15 billion in profit, that they won't give you $15 an hour. Fewer than 1/3 of you have health care you can depend on, and that's not right. They are not sharing with others. Didn't we learn in kindergarten to share with others? American Airlines didn't learn that lesson. So we're going to have to teach it to them, aren't we? Now look, this is happening all over America. Big corporations think they can take advantage of working people. They've gotten used to it, haven't they? The CEOs are making more than ever before. The wealthiest people are taking advantage of all the rest of us. But they don't realize that people have a light of fight back in them. They don't realize that people are understanding more and more that things have to change. I want you to realize this, that what has happened to working people in the last 30 years in this country, it didn't happen by accident. It was an agenda. It was an agenda to make the rich richer. It was an agenda to hold back working people. And every time they get away with it, they think they can get away with even more. Did you see those tax cuts that Trump gave to the wealthy and the big corporations? Is it time to repeal those tax cuts? It's time to give that back to working people. Today, as a candidate for President of the United States, I unveiled a Bill of Rights for working people. Working people need to have the law on your side, don't you? We are sick of the government being on the side of the corporations, the law being on the side of the corporations. We need the government to put working people first. Do you agree we should put working people first? Let me hear you say it. Working people first. 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 So let me tell you what that should look like. Every American worker should be guaranteed a $15 minimum wage indexed to inflation. Everyone. Every American worker should have a right to a voice where they work. There should be no such thing as a worker who raises their voice for their rights and then gets fired for it. That should not happen in this country, should it? Every American worker should have a right to a union, and that means card check neutrality right now. There's something we need to get rid of in this country. It has an awful name that masks its true intention. They call it right to work. What it means is right to subjugation, right to low wages, right to no rights. Let's get rid of right to work laws all over this country. We need a federal law that bans them. And here's one you might like in my Bill of Rights. The right that unions can require mediation and arbitration to secure a first contract if employers refuse to bargain in good faith. You should have the ability to get that contract no matter what the employers do. Now, let's just take an average American employer. For example, let's say American Airlines. Imagine American Airlines doesn't treat you in a good faith manner. Imagine American Airlines thinks they can just run over you and ignore you. Under my Bill of Rights, the government would be on your side to make sure you get the contract you deserve. Under my workers' Bill of Rights, no one would be fired without just cause in this country. Every worker would have due process before they could ever be fired. Because in America today, people are fired for speaking their mind. They're fired for who they love. They're fired for their hairstyle. They're fired for the way they dress. That's not America, is it? We need to stand up for all workers. And by the way, more and more of our brother and sister workers are working in the gig economy, and they don't have rights either. They deserve a minimum wage. They deserve the right to organize. They deserve benefits. When one worker is helped, all workers are helped. Now, if you like the idea of a Bill of Rights, who likes the idea of a Bill of Rights for workers? Raise your hand if you think the workers of America deserve a Bill of Rights. And if you want to know more about it, I suggest you go to BillDeBlasio.com, where you will find out all the details. But here's what I can tell you. Imagine if we turn the tables. The government has been on the side of the 1%. If I talk to you about the federal government, you know it's on the side of the 1%. If I talk to you about the federal government today, you know it's on the side of big corporations. You know the federal government's mission today is to make the rich richer. Now imagine, brothers and sisters, if we used our power
to turn the tables and put the government on the side of working people. Imagine what a country this could be. Imagine how many people could prosper and benefit. Imagine if this was a country that put working people first. Are you ready for that? I'm going to conclude with this. Everything I'm talking to you about is based in hope. It's based in optimism. Because I have seen big changes. I want to talk to you about a place that I'm very proud of. I am the mayor of the nation's largest city. In New York, they told us all the things we couldn't do. But we went ahead and did the $15 minimum wage anyway. They said that we would lose jobs. They said it would wreck our economy. We have the $15 minimum wage. We have more jobs than we've ever had. When you put money in the hands of working people, they spend the money and it creates more jobs. We wanted to make sure that people had paid sick leave. I heard the business leaders say it was going to destroy our economy. We gave paid sick leave to working people, and our economy is stronger than ever, and our people are healthier than ever. We are guaranteeing health care for everyone who does not have health insurance now in New York. Guaranteeing health care. And this year we're passing a law to guarantee 2 weeks paid vacation for every working person in New York. So I conclude by telling you it can happen, change can happen, we can make it happen, because when we fight, even louder, when we fight, God bless you all, brothers and sisters.
Thank you very much, Mayor. If we're going to get the airlines to end poverty wages, we need support from our union sisters and brothers. And the person I'm about to introduce you to is a firecracker, is a fighter, and have shown the airlines the power of working people sticking together, what we can do. We are super excited that America's most powerful flight attendant, Sarah Nelson, is with us here today.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, now. Hey there, Unite here.
My name is Sarah Nelson. I'm the president of the Association of Flight Attendants, representing 50,000 flight attendants at 20 different airlines. Some of them here right now, some of them flying over us right now, raining down solidarity on this rally. And we're here to tell you that the airline industry is interconnected. If one group cannot do their job, the rest of us cannot do our job either. It doesn't work. The planes don't fly. That's why we stood at this very airport, in this very spot, and said that if our federal sector sisters and brothers couldn't do their job or were forced to come to work without pay, then we were going to call on this country to call for a general strike in response. And we beat Trump's shutdown, we shut it down. And that's why I'm here today to tell American Airlines, this is your problem. This is your problem. Because if the people in the kitchens cannot do their job, I cannot do my job, Captain DePete cannot do his job, and the planes do not fly. Now, we understand that this fight is going to be a hard fight because the airline industry used to employ these jobs, but they outsourced these jobs so they could set up a scam where they can have contractors bid against each other for the lowest price. And on whose backs did they put that? Our backs! Our backs! They put it on our backs. And we're here to say that we know your scam because you use it with flight attendants too, who are caught bidding against each other at the regional industry and making 45% less than mainline, doing the same job, serving the same passengers who are buying the same And we're here to say we're going to call bullshit on that scam. Now, American Airlines is responsible for the poverty wages in these kitchens. They are responsible for the poverty wages in these kitchens and the inability to access real health care. And we're going to hold them responsible. Because let me tell you something. If they refuse to get this right, we are going to use our power. And let me ask you something. Who's got the power? Who's got the power? What kind of power? What kind of power? All right, union power. So let me just say, I have been in these kitchens. I have seen what the people who take the carts from our planes have to do to wash out those carts and keep them moving through the kitchen because they are forced to work harder if they want to keep their jobs, if they want to keep their schedules. I have seen them push those carts into the kitchen where people are sweating all day and on their feet, making the food for us on the planes. I have seen them move those carts into the chillers where people are on their feet 10, 12, 14 hours in 40 degrees. And I have seen them move those carts back over to the trucks where they've taken the heat off and they've taken the air conditioning off so the people in the trucks can drive in the sweltering heat or in the freezing cold of the winter. And when they do that, they are bringing back broken carts because we have broken their backs. And that puts our jobs at risk. That puts our jobs at risk on the planes. So I have sat down in the cafeteria with these workers, and they talked to me about what it's like to work in these kitchens. And the thing that touched me is that they said the biggest problem today for us is that the boss can't keep the medicine cabinet stocked with ibuprofen and Tylenol because we have so many aches and pains because we have to work these long hours and we have to work more than one job. So here's what I say. It is really hard to get Wall Street's attention. It is really hard to get the people in the corporate offices to pay attention. But when they have to think that there is a risk for them because we are going to stand together and make them understand that the risk is too great for them to continue to allow these inhumane conditions to go on in the kitchens, that is what we are going to do. So, it takes some extreme action to get their attention. And catering workers all over this country said with nearly 100% strike vote that they are ready to take extreme action if they are released. And so, these people who think that they are in control every day and keep our lives in chaos because they put it on our backs are going to have to understand that we have been talking with the catering workers about what AFA uses as our strike action called chaos. Create havoc around our system, and this maximizes the element of surprise to keep the executives guessing. They will not know when or where it will strike. We will take control of the schedule, and we will have the power. We will have the power, and we are not afraid to use it. And the 50,000 members of the Association of Flight Attendants stand with you because one job, one job, one job. I love you guys. We're with you all the way.
Thank you very much, Sister Nelson. So these deplorable, horrible working conditions that Sister Nelson just spoke about, it affects me personally because I'm from the South. Wages at American Airline, the most profitable southern hub, are the lowest in the country. Our airline food service workers on American flights in Dallas make as little as $9.85. I'm not done. In Charlotte, they make $8.40. Shameful. Those greedy billionaires. Tonight, again, we are excited to be joined by Senator Elizabeth Warren and taking on. Senator Warren is fearless. She is taking on our behalf, American Airlines, and she's demonstrating for the American dream where one full-time, honest job is enough for every American worker so we can live with dignity. Thank you.
Hello, unite here. Hello. So, our country is in a time of crisis. And in a time of crisis, you got two choices. You can back down or you can jump in the fight. Who wants to jump in the fight? Are you in this fight all the way? So this is a fight not just for the workers here. This is a fight for all of America. It is a fight for fair wages. It is a fight for health care. It is a fight for dignity. This fight is going on all across this country. Giant corporations believe that if they just push hard enough, the unions will go away. The unions will back down. Are the unions backing down? Are the unions going away? Are the unions dropping out of the fight? Are the unions in the fight until we win? You know, United, American, and Delta, over the last 5 years, have raked in more than $50 billion in profits. And yet, their workers, their food service workers, the people on the front lines are locked in poverty. This is wrong, and this is why we fight back. We are here to fight back because no one in America should have to choose between health care and paying the rent. We are here to fight back because one job should be enough. Say it again. One job should be enough. One more time. One job should be enough. We face an uphill battle, but if we fight side to side, brother and sister together, then we will win. And we will win for our families, and we will win for workers all across this country. So stay in this fight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Warren. Next up is our very own National President Dee Taylor. At our National Union Convention last month, we put the message out to all of our sisters and brothers and all of our affiliates to be part of this fight. Because we know when we fight, And our president has said that our union will not back down until one job is enough. And we have sisters and brothers here today up and down the East Coast who are joining us in this fight from that charge that we put out last month for catering workers everywhere in the United States. With no further ado, our President D. Taylor.
Speaking, we got to do some walking around these airports in the coming days and months. Every single society is judged by their weakest, not their strongest. And if you look at these contracts, it is not a question. I'm glad American Airlines made $15 billion. I'm glad. We just want our take. We want our money. To hell with them. Now, there's no shame involved. American sucks and we know it. Forget that shame. They got no morals. So I make a pledge to everybody in this room. Unite here, and I'm sure the Teamsters and our WDSU, we're going to fight like hell. We're going to kick the hell out of the American, and we're going to win our contract. Now we have a fighter with us today. When the Trump of all times, named Donald Trump, closed the... Hey, don't boo anymore. You just got to win the election in 2020. That's all I care about. But when they closed down the government, our contracted workers were left out in the cold. This senator has put a bill forward so they get back pay like the federal government workers. He stood with us for labor rights and tribal sovereignty. There is no better friend of the labor movement than Senator Sherrod Brown. There you go.
D. Taylor, thank you. President Taylor, Liz Schuler, all of you, my friend Sarah, thank you for your words. Most importantly, thank you, every single one of you that fights for workers, that fights for a safe workplace, that fights for scheduling, that fights for benefits, that fights for workers. These corporations want to treat you like your work doesn't matter. They want to deny health care. They want to pay you low wages so low you can't survive on them. It's despicable. It's part of their business model. It's what they do. You know how it works. They contract out this work so they can offload the responsibility of paying workers a living wage. Remember, these corporations got a massive windfall from the Trump tax cut. 70% of the Trump tax cut went to the richest 1%. But they can't find the money. They can't find the money to hire companies that pay their workers a living wage. And you know what? This crowd at the White House call themselves populists. Well, populism is never racist. Populism is never anti-Semitic. Populism never fights collective bargaining rights. Populism never fights minimum wage laws. Populism doesn't turn one worker against another. Populism doesn't fight workers in what we stand. That's exactly what's wrong with this country and this economy. Treat you like in a budget minimized. But guess what? As Sarah said, these planes behind us couldn't take off without you. Sarah Nelson couldn't work without you. Captain DePete and the pilot couldn't fly without you, because your work matters. Because you should be paid enough to live on, because all work has dignity. The dignity of work means we respect work, we honor work. Dignity of work means, Dr. King said, no job is really if you're getting adequate wages. Dignity of work means respecting and honoring work. Dignity of work is about pay. Dignity of work is about benefits. Dignity of work is about workplace schedules. Dignity of work is about child care. Dignity of work is about treating workers with dignity and respect. If we need to change how we think about this country, about jobs in this country, about work in this country. One job should be enough. 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 When work has dignity, everyone can afford health care, everyone can afford child care, everyone can afford housing. When work has dignity, workers have a seat. The way that Detailer and Local 226 does it, workers have a seat at the table, at the bargaining table. Workers have power over their schedules and their lives in the workplace. Because if you love the country, you fight for the people who make it work. Thank you. Next, you're next.
Thank you very much, Senator Sharrett, for not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. We've been joined by many members of Congress, senators, and other elected officials throughout this event today who are telling American Airline that one job, that one job, that one job. Next we have United States Senator Richard Blumenthal.
Thank you, brothers and sisters. Wonderful to be with you. Thank you for being here today. I am so proud to be here with my colleagues, Sherrod Brown, Elizabeth Warren, and really great labor leaders, Dee Taylor and Sarah Nelson, but most importantly with you, workers of America, united here for the rights of workers across this country. Thank you so much for your energy and for saying to America, one job should be enough. One job should be enough. One job. Now, I just want to tell you, all of America is watching what you're doing here. All of America is respecting what you're doing here because you are about all of our future. And America just celebrated 50 years after putting a man on the moon. If we can put a man on the moon, we can give people a living wage in America. If we can fly into space again, we can fly the skies of this planet and deal fairly with the people who make it possible. One job should be enough. And we can provide people with a living wage here in America, living wage and health insurance they need for their families so that their children have the medical care they need and deserve. Now, I look out this window and I see planes owned by airlines who subcontract and outsource and try to evade responsibility. But I can tell you, United, Delta, and American Airlines together made $50 billion last year. They can afford to give you one job that is enough. They can afford it. And, you know, it's not just their responsibility, it is a moral imperative. In the United States of America, no child should go sick without medical care. Nobody should have to choose between paying a mortgage and putting food on the table and buying the prescription drugs they need. Nobody should be forced to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs to make a living wage. So I'm here to say we're with you, especially American Airlines. Get it together, guys. You can do it. You have a responsibility. One job should be enough. Thank you for being here. Keep up the courage.
Let's fight back and stand up. Stand up and fight back. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Senator Blumenthal. Last but not least, I want to turn it over to one of our leaders in the Dallas kitchen. She works making meals for American Airline flights. Let's give a big round of applause to Stephanie Kopnang.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Kopnang. I work at LJ Skychef since 3 years now in Dallas. After 3 years work, I make $10.85 per hour. The healthcare, none of us absolutely can afford the healthcare because it's too expensive. We have to pay for a single person $51 per week for healthcare. Going to the family plan, you have to pay $124 every week for healthcare. Do the math. For somebody making $9.85 per hour, how much you bring it home? How is he going to survive at the end of the month? That's the reason why we are here today to say to American Airlines, he needs to fix this problem. American Airlines can do better than what he's doing right now. He needs to do better. And this is not the end, American Airlines. We're going to be in Dallas, where your home is, in your home, to let you know that we are fed up and one job should be enough. We cannot take it no more. You need to fix this issue. We're all going to be in Dallas. So, in August 13, in Dallas, we're going to be there doing all this again in front of American Airlines headquarters to let them know we had enough. We had enough. One job should be enough for each worker in the catering work. So, I count on you, Airline. I'm a member of the Congress. I count on you to be in Dallas so you guys can speak us with me and my co-worker on behalf of American Airlines to let them know they need to fix this issue. One job should be enough.
One job.
One job. One job. One job. Thank you.
Well, everybody's fired up, I think, right? We have some spirit here, but loving God, we ask you to send the Holy Spirit now on us, because we got to march out of here. We got to march to victory, so send that Spirit on us, keep us strong, keep us united all the way to victory. Can I hear an amen?
Amen. Thank you very much, Father Kiley. And we want to thank all of you for being here with us, supporting us in this fight right now. American Airlines, we are not done yet. We will see you in Dallas in August. One job should be enough. One job. 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 Thank you all very much. We'll be back. So, just a quick announcement for those who arrived